Hello, skipper. Hello, navigator. Half a minute to go. Okay.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is Edamon coming directly to you from Auckland, New Zealand. Ooh, yeah. Welcome to Baboon Yodel, everyone. It's good that you guys are joining us during this lockdown time, and I'm happy to be back every week now. And today, again, Renee is not with us. I don't know what's happening with Renee. Maybe she's way too busy. Maybe she's earning money somewhere, because this podcast doesn't earn us any money at all. So she might be enjoying earning some money. And so that's why she's not here today. So what that means, that we've got your favorite motherfuckers. Had I stole that. Your favorite motherfuckers on the podcast again for the third week straight. It's Hedda Dawson and Corin Healy. How's it going, Hedda?
What's up, motherfuckers? Yeah, I'm trying a new persona. It's called it's like the Samuel L. Jackson version, but on the Māori version. Yeah. So what's up, motherfuckers?
You're the Maori Samuel L. Jackson.
Yeah, that's right.
What would be the Maori name for Samuel L. Jackson?
Motherfuckers.
I understand. I've learned. I've taken a few classes. I don't think motherfuckers is a word in Maori. If that was a word in the lexicon, somebody would have said it to Captain Cook when he came in.
Totally.
Somebody would have said it. You motherfucker.
They would have wrote in their treaty, motherfucker. I'm doing good, bro. I'm doing good.
Good. How's lockdown? Wife, the 17 children you have, and 27 grandchildren, whatever. How's that going?
Well, we're celebrating a 20th birthday in the house. Yeah. So I said, have your cake and shut the fuck up while I'm on this podcast.
Yeah, have your cake and eat it too. Yeah. That's one of those things that intelligent people say. Anyway, so we've got the second guy, Corin Healy. Corin is here. How's it going, Corin?
Hey, doing good, mate. How you doing? You guys doing well? You all happy? Well, everyone's fine. I'm fine. I'm good. Why are you asking? I'm good. I'm happy. Lockdown's great.
I'm fine. We're fine. We're clean. Showers every day. I mean, sometimes 2 or 3. While at home, might as well take a shower. It's raining. It's raining a lot. So I think Auckland has gone through that problem of the drought. So we have enough time to shower. And there's some crevices that I wanted to clean up on my body. Those are clean now, I'm quite happy about that.
I think maybe you could save water by buying a removable shower head instead of taking 3 showers a day. You can get it out and just hose things out.
Oh yeah, I can. But the thing is that if I do that. Mm-hmm. I have that shower head thing, that the remote control. I don't know what it's called, whatever it is. You just take it out of the space and then move it around your body. But the thing is that the places that I want to clean up a little bit more, they are of a sensitive nature, So when I go there, I kind of start having those feelings, those feelings that you get when you.
I think the only way through that, mate, is to turn on that shower head on the strongest possible setting. You just got to power through it. You power through that.
Put it on cold, maybe.
Put it on cold and just numb it.
Yeah, just numb it. Just freeze it. Because what happens is that with the heat and everything, and the music starts playing in my brain, and the shower just becomes 3 minutes longer.
3 minutes.
So the boys are back in town. Anyway, so okay, so we've got lots of stuff to talk about, and we do ramble on a lot. And last time we've had very, very long episodes. So we'll
let's keep
get
it tight.
Into it.
Let's keep it tight.
Tight 5, tight as my butt. So. Let's so the first thing I would want to talk about that this week. Did you guys know, if you guys were listening to the news, we had this sentencing of the terrorist
Yeah.
dude who killed 51 people, Muslims, people of my faith in New Zealand. Did you guys hear that?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, totally.
Yeah, there was some. I mean, the thing was that I will just give a background to people who might not know. Last year, this year, it wasn't even. Was it last year in 2019? Yeah, it was 2019.
Mm.
And last year in March, this is one asshole who went into a couple of mosques and opened a fire and killed a lot of people. It's white supremacist person,
Mm.
and obviously, I mean, generally in New Zealand, people are not saying his name too much, which is good.
Mm.
Mm, mm,
And then he was caught really promptly after what he did.
Mm.
And I think police did a good job catching him. I mean, I think there were a couple of rookies who were there for training, and then he followed the dude and caught him.
Mm. Yeah.
And the good thing is that the guys didn't kill him, so he had to face the full brunt, the full fist of justice. So
I got to say, I'm not too familiar with that part of the justice system or anything like that, but I found it really interesting and kind of cleansing how all the victims and the victims' relatives could stand there and just say what they wanted to him. I thought that was pretty cool. I don't know. I've never realized that happened until now. It's like, wow. So that was
no, that's I think that's a very common thing, and that happens in America as well.
Oh,
You
yeah.
always have a victim impact statement.
Yeah.
And usually the victim is only one person, so you have one statement, right?
Yeah.
But this time the victims were several, were like more than 100. They had to actually choose about 100 people to be able to speak at the court, and it took less amount of time because the asshole he admitted his guilt. Initially he said he was not guilty, but then he said he was guilty, and then he didn't want to speak at all. He didn't want to defend himself. He didn't even want a lawyer. So that's why it just consists the whole sentencing period of three days consisted of just people telling him how they felt about him.
Yeah.
It is a common process for restoring justice, and they get to have their say about how it's impacting them and how they feel, and just taking back some power from this dude.
No, that's fair. Yeah, it's a good process.
Yeah.
It's a good process.
Yeah, it's a great process, and then there was like a wide variety of comments that people made, statements that people made, from forgiveness to just wanting death penalty to a good amount of lecturing, and there was a lot of great comments, and everybody poured their hearts out, and in the end, he got the maximum.
I know, that's a first, isn't it? No one's been imprisoned for life.
In New Zealand, it has never happened. Somebody to be sentenced to life without parole. Obviously, we don't have the death penalty. If we had, I guess he would have gone for that, but we don't have that. So, life without parole in a place, in a cage for life, which is great.
I think they should have added to that sentence that they record all the impact statements and they just play them back to him every single day.
Wow.
Oh yeah. It's like every morning he wakes up and listens to that.
Yeah, while he's getting broomsticked by somebody.
That will become torture. We in New Zealand, we don't torture.
Oh, sorry.
I'm being waterboarded. No, we don't do that.
We don't do that.
Yeah. What I find interesting is when the Prime Minister vowed never to say his name, which is in itself a really powerful statement, because it's your name. That's who you are, and at some level, that's how infamous this guy becomes. Is that his name? But she said she's not going to speak it, and the Australian Prime Minister said that he vowed also never to speak his name, and is open to him being transferred back to Australia. Personally, I think if we give him away, we're kind of like can feel like we're going this. We kind of there's a bit of I'm not trying to say it's history, but we're actually going. We're kind of shoveling it away by giving him away. He did his crime here. He serves his time, and all his time is for the rest of his life.
And I think he needs to stay here so we can control it, so he does stay in prison for the rest of his life. In Australia, they might go in 20 years' time, they'll be like, fuck, who's that guy again? Oh, Jesus, let him out, you know?
Yeah, no, we don't want to do that. There's a lot of rhetoric around, and obviously our big time hero Winston Peters has been saying this thing around. Let's send him back and let him do his sentence over there. But I don't think, for me, because I'm from the same kind of background. Not as the same kind of background of the killer, but of the same kind of background of the victims. But it's the I feel that he committed it here. He should stay here under our control, away from his home, away from his family, and he has now 40 to 50 years to think about what he did, and that's the biggest torture. And then after 20 years time, nobody will give a shit about him, and the hate will turn to indifference, and that's the worst punishment.
And let's be real, we don't want him being broomstick by Australians.
No, we don't. We want him to. We don't want him to blame. we don't want him to blame anything on anything. He should be just left alone with his thoughts about what he did. So his life is now stuck in this moment. That's what we want. He nothing happens in his life. No improvements. No. No new life events. Nothing. He can't see his family. Nothing. All he does, sits in his room and thinks about what he did. I mean, that's the best punishment. It's like sending someone to their room for their lifetime and lock the room up. And so it's, I mean, people are saying, oh, why would we have to pay for him to stay here? And I said, well, it's our tax money. I'm willing to do that, because somebody said that it's like $5,000 a day to put him there, because he's going to be like an extra protection, because he's on suicide watch as well, so extra money to spend. If he gets like another 50 years, $5,000 a day, that's about $91 million. Now if like 2.5 million people in New Zealand pay tax, right, so for his whole lifetime it will cost us per person just $36. I'm willing to pay $36 for the whole of the 50 years that he's in jail, and then he rots in there. I'm fine with it.
Yeah,
it's fine. $36.
If we need to do a whip around, then let's do a whip around.
I mean, if the government doesn't want to do it, we'll just do a My Fund page and then raise that 91 million now.
I reckon they should just like find out all his Facebook friends and get them to chip in. So hey, you guys,
definitely.
I think it's a Winston Peters ploy, right? Because Australian deports their prisoners with New Zealand citizenship back here, and Winston's just trying to get in the media saying we should send him back. No, he's our motherfucker. He needs to stay here.
He's trying to win points. That's what he's trying to do. He's trying to win points to try and get people on board with New Zealand first and doing the whole thing. But I think the lockdown, him being in isolation, is probably one thing. I understand keeping him alive as long as possible, that kind of stuff. But the extra protection and isolation and stuff, I don't know. I'm on the fence on that one. That's the one I'm sort of.
What am I hearing? What am I hearing?
Yeah,
just let it
that's
a good bit.
That's a good point. That's a good point. I was having a discussion with someone before, and I know that it seems like, wow, just keep him with this, like a regular person. But the thing is that he's on suicide watch, so it's extra protection. But the thing is that we want to take everything out of his control, so he doesn't even have that thing in his control to take his own life. No, you don't get to decide that. We get to decide when you die, and it will happen naturally when nature decides. You can't decide. We can't decide. We just decide the timeline. You just stay there until you die with the heart attack. So you just think about the whole thing the whole way. You can't just take a decision in your own hand. You kill yourself. No,
true.
That's out of your hand now.
Killed it.
Well, I guess I hope for the rest of his days he eats food he doesn't like. Maybe he gets like mashed potatoes and peas or something. Or Brussels sprouts. That's his diet. Rest of his life. Is there something?
The same thing every day, like Vegemite, like Vegemite. They make a Vegemite sauce and put it on his on lettuce, and Vegemite and lettuce. That's it. That's all he gets for his whole life.
KFC for the rest of his life. He just can't. When he dies, he's 250 pounds.
Yeah. He's like 1,000 kilos. So yeah.
And then we send him back to Australia.
Or just
Get a Hercules plane to put him in there and just drop him off.
Or go the opposite direction. Every day he gets just a one dry wheat bick, and that's it. And there you go.
Yeah, that's it. That's all he doesn't. And also, just take away his toothbrush. That's it.
Yeah.
So he has to.
Toothbrush.
Yeah.
No showers, no toothbrush. Just do that. And
cool.
it's like, it should be like, I'm from Pakistan. It should be like a Pakistani prison. You should have you don't. Yeah, you just shit in the bucket. That's it. And you smell that shit in the bucket for the whole day until it gets cleared. Sometimes it doesn't get cleared, so you got to shit in the corner. That's it.
Wow.
You seem to have a lot of experience in Pakistani prison there.
Yeah, I've read some things, and also
I've read some things. Sure, you've read some things.
No, but even with that, I mean, that's like torture. We just keep him like in a normal place. So all the things that are variable in is just his brain. We just want his brain to play games with him. That's it. All his life, he just stays with his thoughts. That's what we want him to do.
Nah, fair enough. Yeah, I get you.
Yeah, I'm never going to speak his name. I'm never going to speak his name.
Nah, neither.
No, I'm not gonna. I'm already forgetting it. So it's.
I'm the same.
It's great. So, that was one of the biggest news in New Zealand, of course. The other thing is that we are having an election soon. Yay, democracy! Yeah. Last time we talked about dictators. We don't have any dictators anymore. We have democracy here. We have a parliament. We have voting. People go to their go to the polling booths. They vote, come back, have sex, maybe, and live their lives. So
I think
that's great.
I think with a good prime minister, and I think our current government's a good one. I'm favourable towards it. I like what they're doing and stuff. But I think when you've got a good government, 3 years doesn't seem like very long. But when you've got a shitty government, it seems like a very long time.
Yeah. Yeah, it does. It's like one of those things when you're watching a bad movie and you're like, what the fuck? When is it gonna end? And you see like, 29:39 on the timeline on the movie. I was like, fuck! I have to go through another 1.5 hours.
Or when you're at the classic and you're looking for that, someone's on stage and you're looking for the light. Come on, where's the light coming on? Is the light coming on?
Or when you got a flu and you go, yeah, I'm going to get over this soon. But when you got a pandemic, you're like, fuck, this is taking such a long time.
Yeah, that's true. So we're having an election. I mean, all the polls are directing towards the current government to renew Jacinda Ardern to be the new prime minister or the recurrent prime minister again, which is great. But this time around, we have a couple of referendums going as well. So we've got a proper vote to select people, but then we have another vote to decide if marijuana, Mary Jane, weed is going to become legal for recreational use. Boys, it's going to be fun. No, it's just still a referendum. We have to decide. The thing is, the referendum is about starting the legalization, and then there will be a legislation passed in the parliament, and then it will become legalized. So let's just dive into that. Let's see what you guys are thinking about the whole thing. So yeah, well, Corin, what do you think? Are you for or against or within or without?
I think I'm for it. And the reason for that, there's a number of things. One is that it becomes more controlled. So when people go to buy it, they will buy it from a reputable retailer, I guess, and they'll know what they're getting. They'll know that it's been regulated, that the marijuana has not been laced with anything else, and is what you're buying, and there's nothing else that could like add complications and that kind of stuff. And I also think there's the I hate to say it, but the tax revenue or the GST revenue that could be generated out of that whole thing as well. And I think even though Kiwis generally don't really treat alcohol that well, it would be good to have marijuana probably a bit more regulated, like alcohol. So people are a bit more responsible-ish, and it'd be good to see the police not wasting their time on that kind of thing. Because where I grew up in Te Puke, we called it
Te Puke.
I grew up in Te Puke, and we had a lot of bush around us and a lot of kiwi fruit orchards as well. That's a juxtaposition right there. And every day at school, police helicopters were going across with a big bag of weed underneath because they've gone and found some. And because of the helicopter and the noise it makes, they used to call it Te Puke Thunder. And that was
all right.
That was a strain of marijuana localized to Te Puke. It's Te Puke Thunder. And a lot of families actually relied on income from that. And a mate of mine, his dad, when I was at school, actually helped wire up he was a Sparky, helped wire up an underground growing operation. And the dad got caught up in it. And they nearly lost their dad to go to prison. And, all he's doing is helping a mate out and that kind of thing. And if it was legalized, then he might have been doing a professional job for a commercial outfit, as opposed to some underground bunker somewhere. That's my thoughts. I think the being illegal has created a lot of unnecessary police effort and put people in prison who don't need to be there, I think.
Sweet. What about you, Hedda?
Hang on a second.
That's very Kiwi. That's a very Kiwi thing to say.
Oh.
Start every sentence. So there's two ways Kiwis start their sentences. There's one way is by saying look. One way is they're saying look. Everything will be like look. Right? Look. Right?
Look.
So and the second way is oh. So there you go. Let's start. Let's start,
man.
Hedda.
You, man.
Oh.
I forgot I was channeling the persona. Well, this is how I see it, motherfuckers.
There you go.
I know what it's like to see firsthand when you smoke marijuana and it takes over your life. My brother is really heavy into smoking dope. Has been since we were in high school, and it just kind of really fucked him up. And he lives in Australia. He moved to Australia, but he ran into the police quite a few times, only for very small things associated with marijuana crime. But so I've always been against it, and I'm not telling you, I've smoked it myself, but I also had a really bad reaction when I'm smoking and then drinking, and it just really I recognize how bad it was for me, and I just stopped because I can, and so I stopped smoking marijuana. But and I know my kids do. I mean, Courtney, she went to the States, and a lot of the places there were legalized, and she said it's just you just pick it up anywhere, and I thought, oh shit, because I'm also it changes your mindset, and I'm not really into that. I don't even like taking Panadol and shit like that because of what it can do. But at the same time, I was against it, but also there's for all the other things that you mentioned, Corin. But for me, is that there may be some industries that for Māoridom they can enter into. We've been growing shit for years, right?
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. Anybody can. And the thing is that people who are growing it, and I know it's still a drug. It changes your mindset. But we already have alcohol, which changes your mindset. Plus, it leads you to violence a lot of times and accidents and all that. So that's why we keep talking about regulating it better. So imagine having it illegal, and then we'll just having moonshine everyone at home, and no. So the problem with prohibition, my my example of prohibition is from Pakistan. So in Pakistan, it used to be alcohol used to be legal at
Hmm.
the initial part of its lifetime. We became a country in 1947 when the
Mm.
British left and divided the country, and and it became illegal in the 70s, and I
Mm.
think in 71 or 74. And after that time, alcohol usage and alcohol hospitalization increased. Before that, before when it was legal, there was hospitalization. There were people drinking it, but when it became illegal, the hospitalizations and usage, illegal usage, increased, and people started dying more of it, and people started to go into different
Mm.
mental health institutions,
Mm.
etc. And that kind of situation happened as well in the US as well with the
Mm.
prohibition. So even though I get the point in terms of, I mean, it's a mind altering
Mm. Totally.
substance,
Yeah. Yeah.
but I think
And,
we just gotta control it. Otherwise, with the thing is that then if it's not legal, then you can't say it's your problem. So if you have a problem with marijuana, you can't go places and say that it's a problem for me, I need help. You always are hiding it, you always are smoking it.
mm,
um
mm. I get you.
so
Um,
for me, it's that kind of, but you are right. When it takes up over your life, you're the laziest
Mm.
bastard in the world.
and, no, I think there needs to be education with it too. I think to hit his point, I have seen many good friends growing up who had aspirations during high school, and they got hooked into it too young, and their
I
aspirations.
mean, well, for if they I- isn't it when you have aspirations, you use a deodorant? What's
Aspirations.
the,
I'm
is that for aspiration or?
talking about like wanting to go to university and become a doctor or something like that, and then
Oh, that's
yeah,
that's perspiration. Okay, all
aspiration.
right,
Yes,
all right.
it's the one there. What was I talking about? Anyway, high school people, and I had a number of good friends who were really, wanting to get there, and then they'd start. They'd be like, "Oh, no, I went to university now. I just go to Polytech," and then they'll be like, "Oh, no, I just can do an office job," and they'll be like, "Oh, no, I'll become a fencer. That sounds good to me." Then it's like, "Oh, no, I can't be bothered doing that." So I think the education around the way it does impact a person's outlook over long term usage needs to be talked about, if it is legalized, because I do agree with Heather. It can have a negative impact,
Hmm.
and
But what's your vote? Is your vote yes to legalization or no?
mine,
Yeah,
yeah,
Corin.
Yeah.
yes,
Yeah. Well, what about Hedda? What's your vote?
For some people, it's going to really fuck them up. Some people, they're just going to go, yeah, this is great, and be casual users. My vote was no, but I've turned it to yes. If I look at the commercial construct of it being legalized, people Māori them. There's some businesses that they can establish and sell it legally and grow that shit and make some money for their communities. So and their families. I don't
Yeah,
know.
it's then it can be organized.
Yeah.
It can have limits around
mm,
limits around the potency of it, and there will be taxation involved, and people can make their money. I mean, there are people experts at doing this shit, right?
yeah,
You see, because what that does is that you have this. Then if you compare it to the alcohol, then you have like microbreweries in alcohol and craft beer and all that stuff. So we'll have hipster marijuana growers with micro weed,
yeah,
and specialized weed for this and specialized weed for that, and people can earn money and
mm.
build
I
up
mean,
their. The only thing that we would have to stop that it doesn't go uh, into this arena of big companies taking over it, like it
Yes.
has happened in Canada,
Yeah.
and
yeah,
no, not in Canada, in the US, in some states. So,
Yeah.
like for instance, there's a Euro in Uruguay. People say Uruguay, um, uh, the country in South America.
mm,
They have the government monopoly, and only licensed pharmacists can sell it.
wow,
right? So it's very controlled. So the
Mm.
suppliers who grow it, they just supply to the government, and the government sells it through pharmacists. So
Jeez.
that's one model. And then there's a North American model, which is includes America and Canada, which is commercialization, regulation, and licensing. So
Mm.
you should be licensed to sell it, and there's guidelines around what you do.
Yep.
Then you make money out of it, of course. Then you pay tax. The government makes money as well.
You,
Yep.
but you also, and if you look at the government website on the referendum, you can actually grow it yourself, grow and
Yeah, I
own
think
your own cannabis.
you're allowed like a couple of
Yeah,
plants or something.
yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
The maximum number is 4 plants per household. What if you've got own lots of different houses? I'm just saying.
Yeah. But the
I'm a
thing is,
landlord.
the crime then it will become that if you're not licensed, you can't sell it.
Yeah, true.
So I think it's a big opportunity for people to have businesses, and I don't think it will affect the culture because, I mean, you make a very nuanced point, Hedda. But other people just go with the apocalyptic thing. Oh my God! Everybody on the streets will be just smoking marijuana and all that shit. They're like, oh, there will be everybody will be smoking marijuana. People will be just dying on the streets, and everybody will have schizophrenia, and everybody will just be banging in the streets and banging into the poles while driving on marijuana, and the whole country will just sleep and eat Cheetos the whole time. So that's not a good way to look at it,
I've
right?
got to say though, it's a false narrative when they talk about people crashing into things on marijuana while driving. Because a long time ago, I'd seen people driving on marijuana, and
Oh yeah.
those people drive slowly. They drive
Yeah.
so slow and so carefully. You're
Yeah.
like, man, this guy must be high. He's driving so slow right now.
Oh yeah, you've seen it, eh? Okay.
Oh, from the country, mate. You see all sorts of things out there.
How you
So we've
distinguish
got
that
a
driving in the country? Because they drive in the country slow anyway, bro.
Oh, mate, when I drove in the country, it was either go or stop, and anyone else in between was either on a tractor or wasted.
So the current law suggests that it's a Class B or C drug according to the Misuse of Drugs
Mm-hmm.
Act, and the current cabinet paper suggests that the minimum age of it should be 20 for purchase
Oh yeah.
and personal use of cannabis, regulation and commercial supply controls, limited home growing options, public education program
Mhm.
as well.
That's fair.
Um, the thing is, what happens now is that um, so the can police has more discretion now. They can arrest anyone if they think they will be harmful. But the thing is that it puts the discretion over the police, and that brings up this part around systematic uh, uh, equity problems and systematic racism problems. So you can just, you
Mm.
can arrest the Maori person, or you can arrest the Pacific Island person, but not uh, arrest the white guy. So obviously, there have been amendments to the act which says that the police doesn't have to arrest everyone. They should just decide on the spot and see if someone is harmful
Mm.
or not. So and the arrests have gone down through time, but then it still creates this problem of systematic racial problem that we have in the system,
Because
where more Maori people will be put into jail because of that.
the question I've got is, what happens to the people who? Sorry, I got a frog on my throat. What happens to the people who have been convicted on a grow and supply charge? I think that might be the term for it. I'm not sure. They've been convicted on that, and now it's legal. Do those people still have to see out their sentence, or are they going to be, pardoned because now it's legal?
I think most likely the legislation hasn't been passed yet. So
Mm.
once we say yes, then the legislation will put in controls around and have a solution around that.
Mm.
I mean, there's a few data around that. It's like mostly nearly 90% of cannabis users do not become dependent on the drug, right?
Mm.
Mm.
Um, um,
Hang on.
and
Sorry,
87%
sorry to interrupt you there. Here, did you say data or data? Just quickly.
data.
Data.
Did I say data?
Data. Oh, yeah.
Uruguay.
Sorry, Ed, carry on.
And also, there hasn't ever been a recorded death from toxic cannabis overdose. There's never been. It never been done in New Zealand. But the thing is that we don't know all the data, or the data, or but legalization will help us gain more information.
I'm sorry, I interrupted your flow there by bringing up data.
Motherfucker. I've lost my train of thought.
Well, another data suggests that this is a struggle with the addition because the health system is not equitable. So according to the Department of Corrections, Maori are more likely to be arrested for cannabis use.
Wow.
Maori age 17 to 25 accounting for 37% of all conviction of just drugs possession. And they are twice as likely to be subject to police attention as compared to non-Maori. So the thing is that the legalization, what we will do, that will kind of remove that layer of racism bullshit that happens.
That's a good thing. I'm for that. That's really good.
Yeah. But I'd like one person to be in jail. That is Hedda.
Motherfuckers! Hey, that's interesting what you brought up, Mr. Healy, is that if I was convicted of a crime to do with marijuana, and then suddenly there was the legislation, all that other shit went through, and then all the laws were passed, and that crime suddenly is not a criminal offense, do I go, yeah, set me free?
Exactly.
I think they'll find a solution for that. I don't know. I don't think they'll. Otherwise, Judith Collins will be like, "Oh my God, this is a bad rule."
The Karen.
The data says the data.
The data, and then
Data.
That's how I imagine Judith Collins talking like at home as well. Oh my God, look at Jacinda. She's always on TV. Oh my God.
Just put the kettle on, darling. Put the kettle on.
Darling, put the kettle on. And
I
haven't trimmed my bush in 35 years. I want to trim my bush.
Hey, is 14 grams a lot?
I don't really weigh stuff within grams, I guess. I
don't know. Because apparently you're allowed to have 14 grams on you and be able to carry 14 grams in public. I think I can carry 14 grams.
At the moment.
After legalization.
Yeah.
I think,
Is it right now?
Yeah. No, that's it's part of the legalization thing. So it's like equivalent 70 grams of fresh cannabis.
Yeah.
14 grams is the bill will establish that 14 grams of dried cannabis is equal to 70 grams of fresh cannabis. 14 cannabis seeds. What if your seeds are fucking huge? 210 grams of cannabis eatables. Is that like what? Like cookies?
Yeah,
like cookies,
and stuff like that. Yeah.
980 grams of liquid. That's quite a lot of liquid if you think about it. Is it
like if it's in oil?
Oh,
it's
right.
about a liter, almost a liter.
And 3.1 grams of concentrates.
That's like your hash. That's your oils and hash and stuff, right?
Yeah, that's like hashish.
Man, all I'm going to be seeing is a lot of cops trying to work out a lot of fucking meth when they catch people.
Let me wait one now.
Get their little scales out. Well, hang on a second. Is it 14 grams? What is going on here?
Steams out there. They don't do anything anyway. Get the steam going.
Well, nowadays the scales are with the dealers, but then the scales will be with the police officers. They'll be like, please, can you get out of the car, sir? What is that? Let give it to me. And then it was that. Okay, it's all right.
I'm sorry, Sue, but I'm going to have to measure all of this. Would you just stand over there while I get my scales out?
I must say, I mean, weed's all good and fine, but nothing beats tramadol, and that's legal already. So, just saying.
Oh,
But it's prescription still, though.
Oh, it's controlled like that, yes. But they usually overprescribe it anyway.
well,
But tramadol does give you like a bad constipation.
oh,
I mean, that's one side effect, I guess, is the
Well, I've had a lot of it.
constipation.
I'm already on tramadol at the moment. No.
Are you?
When I had when I had the kidney stones about 2 years ago,
Yeah.
and I went to the hospital. They gave me morphine.
Mhm.
Morphine didn't work, motherfucker. So I was like, fuck. And then they gave me tramadol. But the worst part of tramadol was that it just shut down my anus. It just shut it down.
Yeah.
It shut down my anus. And then, so I didn't shit for like 5 days.
Mhm.
And once the stone was out, I was like, how am I going to get the shit out as well? So I had to take like laxatives and stuff. And then, it came out with a vengeance,
Mm.
with a lot of pain and trouble. So that's tramadol.
Have I told you guys my tramadol story? I don't know if I've told you this or not. Have I told you about this?
are you about to?
Are you just about to tell us that?
I don't know. I mean, have I told any tramadol stories or codeine stories on this podcast
No.
so far?
Let's start with tramadol and we'll move on to codeine.
Okay.
Yeah.
And that's how it starts, people. It's tramadol, codeine, marijuana, and next minute, I don't know what the next one is.
Heroin.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I was at work a long time ago, and I had some tramadols. It was prescription. It was for pain and stuff, but I was still able to work and stuff because I've got no office. I don't drive, and I didn't have any machinery. It was an office job. It was fine. And I hadn't, as Ed had talked about, I hadn't shit for about 5 days. And on this day, I felt this urge. I needed to do it. And I went to the toilet, and I was there for an hour. And I felt like a cinder block, which is a very large brick, was trying to come out sideways. And I was in there for an hour, and I was crying. I was in such pain. It was the closest I think I would ever be to giving birth or something like that. It came on like contractions. I was like, ah! It was terrible, right? And people coming and going to the toilets, and they'll be like, what the hell's that guy up to? Anyway, I go downstairs, I get into a taxi, I go to a GP, and there's a young nurse there, and I explained my situation. I was wearing a suit, right? I used to wear suits back in the day to go to work and that, and I was wearing a suit, and this young nurse was there, and I was just like, oh no, this is so bad. I don't want this young nurse who is kind of attractive as well, just to be giving me this enema. But it turns out an older nurse was assigned to me, and she had the warmest, kindest hands I have felt in my entire life. And she gave me this enema, this chemical enema, and everything was good after that. Everything was great. And about half an hour, I was back at work, giving a presentation to 80 people like nothing had happened.
All right. You had a smile on your face.
Oh, it was good.
Yeah, right.
It was relief.
It was so good. I mean, did you call her later?
No.
I married her.
She's such a kind old lady.
It's kind old lady with soft hands giving you an enema. What happens in an enema? Is that like a pipe that put it in your ass and just push water in
The
there?
chemical one's more like a kind of I don't really look at it, to be honest with you, because I was double over in pain, but they kind of put you on your side, and she kind of holds your hip with her left hand, and the other hand she kind of spreads
saucy
and like puts this, I guess it's a syringe, and then just goes whack, and then they tell you to clench, which I've got no choice. I've got to clench anyway. And then they say, look, in a few minutes, you're going to have to go to the bathroom. And
wow.
Yeah. And wow. It was free.
It was the best experience in your life. Now, every year, you grab on a bunch of tramadol, put it in your face, and then after 5 days, you go to Nurse Helen, and Nurse Helen puts her enema with the soft hands in your asshole, and then you have a nice, relaxing, and comforting and satisfying shit.
I do shop with flowers, and I say happy anniversary.
You get in there and you roll back some memories. So what have you been up to lately? Well, a good story, man. Let's see. So we went with tramadol, and what's the next one? Codeine.
Codeine's a similar story, to be honest with you.
Oh, okay.
That's a different nurse.
It's a different-
There's a codeine nurse, and then there's a tramadol nurse. You never mix them together. You don't tell the tramadol nurse about the codeine nurse, because that's cheating. You can't do that.
You never mix your drug nurses up.
Yeah.
No. They get jealous.
Yeah, they get jealous.
They stop cutting their fingernails and stuff like that.
All right, boys. I think it's we've talked enough in this episode. We touched on a couple of good topics. I mean, we didn't have a lot of jokes today and we didn't go to different levels of insanity like we did last time with donkey dick meat.
True.
But we were talking about serious stuff, so it's fine.
Mm-hmm.
I think that this part of the program, we're at the 45-minute mark, and this is what happened last time. We decided what we were going to talk about the next episode, and if I could just be so bold to put a subject forward.
Go on. What is it?
Tramadol stories.
I tell you what, I tell you really quickly. And at work, my boss came to me and she said to me, "You know that PowerPoint pack you do every week?" She goes, "That last one you've done just yesterday, that was the best one you've And I told her, I said, "It's a tramadol." And she cracks up and says, keep going, keep it up.
Keep it up. She's an enabler.
You should have told her that, listen, next time I have a big presentation, tell me 5 days before. And
Can we talk about masks? Because I'm going to make a prediction. Right, we're going to come out of lockdown level 3, Auckland. Sunday's the big day, midnight, and it's kind of mandatory because I take public transport or to wear a mask, and I'm just going to see how many motherfuckers are not going to wear masks. I mean, I'm going to wear a mask only because it's well, I don't want to have people feel uncomfortable around me. They feel uncomfortable enough.
And also, you don't want to infect other people.
And all that sort of stuff. And
but what about your freedom?
Oh, fuck my freedom. And
oh man, it started the great mask debate.
And so I reckon I'm going to be witness, and that many New Zealanders will be witness to the great New Zealand mask fight off.
Yeah, I think the problem is in New Zealand we've got a small element of, for want of a better word, fuckwits who will be like, "You can't tell me what to do. I'm not going to wear a mask. I'm going to go on this train and I'm going to be wearing no mask at all because that's what I do. Because you can't muzzle me. You fucking can't." Oh, I just said a C word. Is it okay? It's in character. So is that all right?
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah,
good character.
Good character. Yeah, we've seen that in America already.
Yeah, and it's like, it's stupid because they don't realize that they're actually just doing it to be keeping others safe, keeping other people safe. And they're like, "Can't muzzle me. No. It's like, nah, that's the point.
Yeah,
there will be. I think there will be some. I think I trust New Zealand a little bit more in the sense that there might be a few people who might forget it or might be uncomfortable for the first couple of days. But there'll only be a very small number of people who will be like, "What about my freedom? Oh my God, Bill Gates."
I agree.
I personally am going to go off if I'm wearing a mask and then someone who's not wearing a mask goes off to the people who are wearing a mask, then that's I'm going to really fucking get triggered there. Because
is this going to be you? Is this going to be you? With your mask on.
Yeah. And the guy will go, "What? Sorry, would you?" And then I'm going to just knock him the fuck out. But what I'm really saying is that, bro, you can have your opinions, but I don't want to hear your shit. And it's not like I'm going to come at you. Don't come at me.
Yeah. No, that's the thing. If somebody tells me that, "Oh, why are you wearing a mask, you sheep?" I said, "Yeah, I'm a sheep, but I have a big dick and I'm going to fuck you." So,
and there's no comeback after you use the word big dick.
Yeah, there's no comeback. There's no comeback. It's like you're not wearing a mask because you have a small dick. You just tell them that.
Are we talking about masks next week or this week? Because I feel like we've
next week. Next week, because we're going to have stories.
We might have stories because I mean, for our international listeners, I mean, we are changing our levels of lockdown and it's going lower, but it's what's going to be that it's going to be mandatory to wear masks on public transport, just public transport. So everybody who from New Zealand, if you're listening, please wear a mask. If you don't have a mask, just put a sock, like make it from a sock. And if you don't have a sock, wear a bandana. You can make it from your underwear as well. You can make it for a bra as well. There's different ways to do it. Wear a mask to keep everyone else safe. And if you don't want to wear a mask because for some freedom bullshit, then it's better that you just go fuck yourself.
Stay home.
Yeah.
Yeah, I find that whole topic really interesting, how people don't want to do it. Well, I mean, small percentage of population. I mean, I'm wearing my mask right now, to be honest with you. I quite like it.
I wear it to bed sometimes, and I just look over at Mary and guess who?
Sneak out the closet.
I quite like wearing them, but the problem with my mask wearing is that my glasses get fogged up. But I like wearing a mask because then I can have any kind of emotion in my face and nobody knows. So,
let's face it, we all wear masks all the time at work.
Oh,
shut the fuck up. God damn it. That bullshit, Corin Healy. Don't bring that. Oh, we all wear a mask all the time.
You're going to tell us a story how you wore.
We're wearing different masks. There's one mask that you are with friend. There's one other mask when you are with your wife. Then there's another mask when you are with your gay lover. There's another mask when you are with your boss. And there's another mask where you are by yourself masturbating. So many masks.
So many.
Well, all I got to say to that is data.
Data.
I think that's it, people.
Our little babies and listeners from all over the world, please write to us and let us know if these topics are not good for you to listen to. We'll keep doing it anyway, but just write to us. And if you have any death threats for us, send us some death threats, hate mail. We love that. Let us know how you feel. I don't know when Renee's coming back, but until then, we will have Hedda and Corin. We might have other guests come along later as well. So keep listening. I mean, a lot of people are listening more now because of you two guys. I
Really?
Think. Yeah. We've got a good chunk of new people come up and listener group, which is good.
Wow, that's nice.
But we still have those 13 Chileans who listen from Chile. I don't know who these 13 Chileans are, or keep listening to our podcast, which is great. I love them. We always love them.
Maybe we should do an next podcast on Chilean language.
Maybe we could do that. Maybe Chilean news. Maybe do a whole day of Chilean news. Anyway, so Right. baboonyodel@gmail.com, baboonyodel on Instagram, baboonyodel on any other shit, everywhere, right? And yeah, follow us, write to us, love yourself, play with yourself, whatever, and enjoy, have sex with your mother. Great. So, we will see you next week. Bye.
See you.
Tramadol.